A thread by Carlos Osuida. Hat tip, the real Saracola. This is important. It dovetails with the second addendum to my last thread from Mike H. Newly released stills of CCTV footage shows Michael Forrest Reinoehl lying in wait for Aaron J. Danielson and his friend. Picture right here. I'll blow it up for a second. Danielson, Pappas. That's quite incriminating right there. Here's the addendum in which I explain how the destruction of our country will happen if real Donald Trump is not reelected. Read to understand this thread. The upshot of the addendum was that if we lose this election, Antifa and Black Lives Matter will become our politicians. I can't tell where this CCTV camera was located. Remember, in the shooting video, Reinoehl crossed the street to murder Aaron J. Danielson. Multnomah County District Attorney Mike Schmidt released almost completely false court documents that do everything possible to minimize Michael Forrest Reinoehl's murder of Danielson. The claim is that Danielson got into an altercation with two black men. Then Reinoehl intervened and shot Danielson after Danielson sprayed him with bear spray. Now, eyewitness accounts are often dishonest or mistaken, but in this case we have a cop lying, maybe several cops. Reinoehl was charged with second-degree murder. The Portland jury would have acquitted him. Police Detective Rico Beniga swore out the affidavit for the arrest warrant. Beniga says that Danielson was armed with a holstered 9mm Glock 17 with 3 extra magazines in one pocket of his cargo pants. I have no idea if that's true, but it seems that an armed man would not advance on another armed man pointing a gun at him. Beniga lies and says that the cloud of vapor appears after one shot. We saw the same video. He watched the same video we saw, but Beniga, the Portland detective, admits that Reinoehl crossed several lanes of traffic to get to Danielson. That's why I don't know what this photo is. My father taught me indirectly that you don't fabricate lies out of whole cloth. You simply muddy the waters. The most effective lies have an element of truth. If Reinoehl was already on the same side of the street as Danielson and Pappas in this garage, why do we see him crossing the street to get to Danielson? It's because those aren't the same garages. The entrances are completely different. Police Detective Rico Beniga completely muddied the waters, but he did admit that the death squad had a female member in a white t-shirt. He deliberately does not acknowledge that these two people, a second in command and fat woman, are together. The reason I said there were 5 people in the death squad was that I heard 4 male voices and 1 female on the other videotape. I forgot the videographer's name, so I apologize. This is getting to me. I'm not rattled. It's quite traumatizing, though. Now we see that there were 6 people, 4 males and 2 females. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Is that a male? I don't know. Whatever. Whew. That's what I thought. Therefore, I always said at least 5 people. I can't tell you how Danielson was targeted. The two videos don't show where Reinoehl was. There may be another garage across the street from the one in the Dunlap video. That means that Reinoehl was pre-positioned. The floating box formation, or two-column formation, was used by 5 members of the death squad. Remember, this is what's on Dunlap's tape, posted above. First male voice, move, move, pause, move. Second male voice, hey, enemy club over here. We got a couple right here. Third male voice, him? Second male voice, pull it out. Third male voice, right here? Spraying sound, 2 gunshots. Female voice, knocked him off. Fourth male voice, go, go, go. The videos and the police affidavit make it impossible to know what happened. And that is why Donald Trump must be reelected. The conspiracy theories everyone talks about are fantasy created by rank amateurs who know nothing. All you need to do is muddy the waters. It took me 6 years to find the proof of the only major conspiracy that I know took place. One man was in charge. Unraveling this thing taught me a lot. Here's what he did. He simply muddied the waters. All the lies he told had an element of truth. He had his skills behind a facade of boorish mediocrity. He told nobody what he was really up to. He used only bitter, corrupt people with grudges. He always had a plausible story in case he was confronted. He taught himself how to do everything alone. He befriended unknowing, honest people of power who gave him the keys to the kingdom. He never eliminated anybody unless he absolutely had to. He spoke enough languages to pass for natives of multiple countries. He knew that instead of learning how each culture did something, it was smarter to invent a method that was cultural neutral. He had no friends because they were hindrances. He never slept. He had iron discipline. He was almost never photographed. The only reason that I was able to uncover and prove one of his operations was that he was unable to anticipate the internet and the change of rules governing the National Archives. Using old newspaper sites, a diligent researcher for the National Archives, and my own ability to look in places where nobody else looks, I was able to piece together one conspiracy. And it's only a conspiracy in that several dupes helped this man carry it out. Technically, it's a one-man conspiracy. The Portland fiasco is more rank amateurs. It didn't take me 6 years to figure out what happened, and Reinoehl would have been acquitted. That is why the waters were muddied. This is the first response to the screen grab of Reinoehl lying in wait to commit first-degree murder, a sectarian assassination. Missy Bean tweeted, "Too bad our president ignited this. 2 dead men, one far left, one far right. Whole situation is disturbing." She saw with her own eyes that this was ice-cold, premeditated murder, and she blames Trump. Why? Because she's hallucinated that Trump has said things, so she justifies the murder of strangers? I'm sure she sees herself as a deeply moral person. This is what the last 60 years has created. If Trump loses and Antifa and BLM take over, cops will muddy the waters so that deeply moral people will acquit members of death squads. See? It won't happen. But now I hope you see the stakes, and I hope you start ignoring fake conspiracy theories. Even Antifa and BLM are screwing up big time. All Trump had to do was back off and let them take over. We can still vote. They're toast. They're insane. Bill Ayers is insane. He has no ideology. He just loves being a criminal and getting away with it. A final point. You ask me if I'm afraid and if I protect myself. First of all, I'm in constant, incurable physical and psychological pain. I'm 58 years old. If someone kills me, they're sending me to a better place. I had a very gratifying experience that was prophesied by the chaplain in my father's hospital. What he said came true. I have it on very good authority that I'll be fine after I walk through that door, so I'm not afraid. I'm very heavily armed, very careful, and I have very high-tech surveillance in place. Nobody can stop a crazy lone wolf, so I don't worry about it. More importantly, I'm my father's son. We accepted that life is a meat grinder. He loved it, and I hate it with all my heart. But I accept it, and I'm not bitter. Like my father, I have relationships. Not with Americans. I met a lot of people during the Obama administration. The people I admire the most are the friendliest and the most ruthless. They're grateful to me because I'm the only person in the world who's defended them so rabidly and with evidence. They asked me why I did it. I had to. They earned my admiration because they're great people fixing everything in their part of the world, and they do it with no strings attached. So I spent years defending them. They call me the professor, which is an honorific. When they no longer needed my help, they said if I ever needed their help, all I had to do was ask. So I asked for a favor. Culturally, they feel indebted to those who help them. They granted my favor and they added something. They said, if anything happens to me, they'll publicize what I've given them. And they said this, that will be only the beginning, they said. We are very angry that these things happened to you. Then a religious leader sent me a blessing in his native language. It contains a curse on my enemies, whomever they may be. I fear nothing. I've made my peace with the great meat grinder. If I'm killed in an obvious way, that's just the beginning. I've been blessed, and my enemies have been cursed. It's a good life. I really want to be here as long as I can. I want to see what happens next. I was always an upright man, long before I finally met other upright men. Trump is an upright man. Make sure he wins re-election. I've posted this a lot, but it's a great piece of art on every level. The lyrics are important. Link in the description to Bill Laswell's Upright Man.